Dakota's pushing it to 5. They win set number 4, 25-23.
Hey, Coyote fans, we're back in the Coyote Volleyball Show presented by Scooters Coffee. And we're joined, as we always are, each and every week by the head coach of the Coyote Volleyball team, Leanne Williamson. Her team coming off of a road trip to Ames, Iowa this past weekend. Coach, you get off to the start on Friday. I know last week we talked about just the build-up to the season and getting ready for the regular season. Obviously, a tough loss on Friday against Iowa State on their home floor. What'd you take away from this weekend, the way the team bounced back for a win on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, first, going into Friday, it was a great atmosphere. It was a big match for us, and I think our team was a little bit nervous, if I'm being honest. But, I think we were all, coaches, players included, a little disappointed with how we performed on Friday. But I think what's great about it is they learned, they got better from it, and they really turned it around going into Saturday. And, if I think about how this season needs to continue to progress, I think being able to do that is going to be really important for us to reach our potential as the season progresses.
You do some scrimmages, you did the exhibition, things like that, but I always think it's a different level of focus when it's an actual regular season match. How hard is it to get the team just ready and into game mode for the regular season opener?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's why we compete as much as we do in our own gym. It's why we play that exhibition match. And I think in some ways it gave us a lot of confidence with the exhibition, but I think in some ways it maybe set our expectations even higher, that maybe they got a little bit nervous about. But, we did have a couple of freshmen on the floor. We had some people who didn't have a ton of experience from years past, and we had to work through some of that. And that's a part of it. That's a part of that learning and growing and honestly being okay with failure and understanding that failure can teach us things. And I thought this team handled that really well. We thought we prepared them the best we could. But again, anytime that happens, I think it says more about us in terms of how we respond to it.
I know you always take away things from, one match and try to fix some of that, but it's a short turnaround playing Friday night into Saturday afternoon. Really, how do you try to, I guess, work on some of those things in such a short turnaround to correct them for match 2 of the weekend?
I mean, honestly, this time I can tell you what we did. We watched about 7 film clips and we prioritized of just, hey, here are the main things that we need to get better at. This is us either doing it poorly or doing it well, and this is what we need to change. And I felt with that film session, they did a really good job of grasping what we were talking about and why it was important. And it was a major difference. Blocking was actually one of the things that we put a big emphasis on from Friday to Saturday. And our blocking on Saturday, it wasn't perfect, but it was night and day difference and so much better and really allowed us to play defense at a higher level on Saturday. And again, that's with some freshmen in those positions that needed to learn on the fly through a film session. So we were really happy with that, but I think you're honest with them. I mean, I think that's what you have to do is we have to say, here's where we fell short. This is how we need to fix it. And then it's up to them to make some of those changes, and they proved they could.
Big match in the win for Madison Harms and Evelyn Dietrich, Kylan Seelock with 11 kills, the other 2 with 10, but all 3 of those in double digits in kills. How important was that for them to just find their footing a little bit and have that kind of performance on Saturday?
Yeah, I think both Kylan and Madison had done pretty well on Friday in regards to their roles. But Evelyn obviously really stepped up on Saturday, and I think the other 2 got better as well. But I think those 3 having success is going to open up other people too. Madison Harms getting the ball as often as she did in that match opens up her pins, opens up space for them to attack. And you saw that with Amanda Lotion, having a good day early on in her career, hitting for a high percentage. And, those are things that can happen. They had a blocking scheme against us that was actually pretty smart after watching us on Friday. And as time went on, especially games 2 and 3, we were able to kind of pick that apart a little bit more and really, I think, find ways to score a little bit more efficiently. But Madison, Evelyn, Kylan all had great days, and I think it's just it's only the start for them in a lot of ways.
What was your big takeaway from this past weekend, the opening weekend of the regular season?
We are still young, in some ways, and there is a lot of learning left to do. But at the same time, they're a tough team. I think they have high expectations. They know where they want to be. And when they didn't hit those expectations on Friday, and take the loss out of it, I mean, we just didn't even play like ourselves. When we didn't hit those expectations, they were determined to make that change on Saturday. So it didn't even have to come from us, even though it did as well. But being on the same page there and really working to be the best version of themselves is going to be important. But we have a lot of learning left. We've got a lot of space that we can cover in terms of being the best version of ourselves. And they work really, really hard and they want to be good. And those are really important takeaways, I think, from a coaching perspective.
Coyotes off to a 1-1 start to the season. Still to come on the Coyote Volleyball Show, we'll preview the upcoming weekend. The Coyotes head to Columbia, Missouri for 3 matches over the course of the weekend. Coming up next, we are joined by Alaina Wolff. She'll talk about her opening weekend and this team as well. This is the Coyote Volleyball Show presented by Scooters Coffee. The Coyote Volleyball Show is brought to you by Scooters Coffee. Scooters Coffee. Amazing drinks, amazing people, amazingly fast. Back in the Coyote Volleyball Show presented by Scooters Coffee. This week we're joined by Alaina Wolff, the junior from Jackson, Minnesota. Alaina, you finally got the season off and rolling. Before that, though, you get into fall camp, you're grinding through practices. How ready is your team usually when you just want to get on the floor for the first match of the season?
Yeah, it was really exciting, especially against our exhibition at Kansas. I think there were a lot of the preseason nerves and the jitters, ready to get on the floor and actually play a match against someone else other than ourselves. But Kansas went really well, and we competed really hard, and we have a lot of depth on our team this year, so we had a lot of options for personnel, and we were ready to come out and compete on Friday against Iowa State. And it was a really good time, really fun time. They were a great team, and I think our team competed hard.
You opened the season with Iowa State. You mentioned tough loss against the Cyclones. Bounce back, though, against DePaul. Get a 3-set win. How important was it after a tough loss on Friday night to be able to just bounce back as a group and get that win?
Yeah, I think with this team, we have some players that played on Friday and Saturday that haven't had a lot of collegiate experience. And we talked about just coming out and playing fearless, playing Coyote volleyball, playing like we play every day in the gym in preseason. We competed really hard in preseason. It was tiring, but it was fun and left the coaches with some tough decisions on who to put out there. But I think that it was a great start, and we competed really hard and came out on Saturday and did what we needed to do.
The matchup on Friday with Iowa State, kind of a unique connection for you. A family friend is tied to their volleyball program.
Yeah, Michelle Agan, their director of ops, she's new this season. She is from my hometown of Jackson, Minnesota. Her husband used to be my basketball coach in high school and throughout part of middle school. So it was really fun to see them and have that family connection. As I'm their first son's god sister. So it was just a fun experience to see them and have that connection there.
How neat is it? You know that obviously she's involved in volleyball, you're involved in volleyball, but to be on the same floor, what was that feeling like for you?
It was really special. It was weird because she was on the other side of the net, but we're still family, we're still connected. It was a lot of fun to see them and have my first game of the season be around them.
You've continued to increase your play with the Coyote volleyball program. What did you learn about this team this past weekend that excites you about the upcoming weekend?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of potential. We can definitely raise our play from here. We started out great, but I know we can get better. We have a lot of things to work on, and we're excited to get in the gym every day and continue on working on those things. I know that we have the potential to be super good and just keep working hard every day, and I think we'll get there.
Obviously, it's a very team-driven sport, but everybody's always trying to get better individually. What has been your focus since last year as you try to improve as an individual to help the team?
Yeah, this year I'm going into my 4th year of collegiate volleyball. I'm a junior on the team, and I am really trying to step up and take more of a leadership position. Wore the libero jersey last week. I'm out there the whole time, really just helping them, lead them, and help instill confidence in my teammates as well, I think is a really important role for me this year.
Coming up this weekend, you'll head to Columbia, Missouri. 3 big matches coming up. The Louisville Cardinals on Friday. You'll play the host Mizzou Saturday. And then on Sunday, Northern Kentucky. A big weekend for your group. Yeah,
we're really excited to get back and compete and see those teams again that we saw last season. we had some great fun matches last season. Excited to see Louisville. They're ranked 4 right now in the nation. Great team. Saw them in the national championship last year. That'll be a fun match, and excited to play at Mizzou on their home floor and Northern Kentucky as well.
Very soon you'll get a home match coming up. Why should fans be excited about this year's product, this year's version of Coyote Volleyball?
Yeah, the team looks different. So we have some different players, and it's going to be a different type of volleyball. But at the end of the day, it's Coyote Volleyball, and we still have the same passion and excitement and love for the game. And I'm excited for the fans to come see it in action.
Thanks for the time. Really appreciate it. Good luck this weekend and the rest of the year.
Thanks.
All right, that's Alaina Wolff, the junior from Jackson, Minnesota. Coming up next on the Coyote Volleyball Show, presented by Scooters Coffee, joined again by head coach Leanne Williamson as we preview the upcoming weekend in Columbia, Missouri. The Coyote Volleyball Show is brought to you by Scooters Coffee. Scooters Coffee, amazing drinks, amazing people, amazingly fast. Back in the Coyote Volleyball Show, presented by Scooters Coffee. South Dakota volleyball team off to a 1-1 start to the season. Back at it on the road this weekend as they head to Columbia, Missouri. We're joined by the head coach of the Coyote Volleyball team, Leanne Williamson. Coach, your team will have their hands full this weekend. 3 matches on schedule, obviously 3 consecutive days playing in Columbia. You get the Louisville Cardinals, who are a very good volleyball program. Missouri on their home floor on Saturday, and then Northern Kentucky on Sunday. Before you get into those matches, this has been a neat partnership with this tournament now, and I believe it's 3rd year, but you hosted it last year, so really neat to have this rotation going.
Yeah, I mean, we've loved it so far. The quality of opponents has obviously been great, and I think having some familiarity with it, with the teams that we're playing each season, can be good for our team as well. But it's going to be a really big challenge. Obviously we challenged in weekend 1. We're going to continue that here into weekend 2, but looking forward to some really good matches. Only the one a day, which I think will be nice for our team to be able to recover and be as prepared as they can be for each consecutive match.
I know your goal is always to win, no matter who you're playing, but you get some high-quality opponents, Louisville, Missouri on their home floor. Some of these matchups, how important is that early in the season for your team to see that and recognize, look, their goal is to be playing these teams at the end of the year?
Yeah, for sure. Good teams are always able to show you what you're not good at too, and what you are good at. I mean, they're going to expose your weaknesses, but also expose some strengths. And we think we know what a lot of those are, but I think each week we try to make changes based on what happened in that previous weekend, and same thing this weekend. We've got some pretty specific things that we're going to be working on, and then hopefully we're better at those, and then something else will be exposed. So we're excited for that level of opponent, but we're also excited for an opportunity, to maybe do something that we haven't done before.
You're coming off a weekend where you had that quick turnaround, but now you get 3 consecutive days. How do you game plan and implement a game plan on such short turnaround? And obviously all the focus on Louisville for Friday night, but then it's going to be quickly to Missouri.
Yeah. Again, film, individual meetings where we're giving them the keys of things that we need to be prepared for. But in the end, we're pretty true to ourselves of we need to play good volleyball on our side of the net. So yes, we're going to know tendencies. We're going to know kind of what to expect from them. But at the same time, a lot of it is making sure that we're doing our job at a high level. And if we're doing that, we're giving ourselves some pretty good opportunities. And then some of those tendencies just may help us kind of get over the hump there.
What do you want to see out of your group this week? Coming off of last weekend's split, what do you want to see out of the team this week? Win, lose, or draw, but just to continue to see that performance improving.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to seeing the team that we saw step on the floor on Saturday. And again, win or lose, not necessarily being the main focus right now, but the fight, the hustle, the determination, the energy that this team can create. And when we're doing all that, we're having a lot of fun. And when we're having fun, we're playing good volleyball, So there's a lot of obviously tangible things, skill related, that we're trying to work on. But there's also some of those intangibles that really have made a big difference for this team in the past, and things that we need to continue to see as we progress forward.
Well, have a great week, safe travels, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
That's Leanne Williamson, the head volleyball coach at the University of South Dakota. That wraps up the Coyote Volleyball Show this week. My thanks to Leanne Williamson and Alaina Wolff for joining us here on the Coyote Volleyball Show, presented by Scooters Coffee. The Coyote Volleyball Show is brought to you by Scooters Coffee. Scooters Coffee, amazing drinks, amazing people, amazingly fast.